It's a case that first made headlines more than a year ago, that of Michelle Carter, who was charged with involuntary manslaughter after prosecutors say she encouraged her boyfriend, Conrad Roy, to commit suicide. Carter from Plainville, Mass. Was 17 at the time. Roy from Mattapoisett, 18. Prosecutors say in the days before Roy died, texts show Carter instructed Roy to stop talking about killing himself and, quote, just do it. On the day of his death, officials say Carter both texted and spoke on the phone with Roy as he turned on a generator in the cab of his truck with the goal of killing himself with a carbon monoxide. And when at one point Roy got out of the truck, Carter told him to get back in. Now the question before the state's highest court is whether encouraging someone to kill themselves is, in this case, involuntary manslaughter. Joining me are Jack Cunha, an attorney with Cunha and Holcomb, who has defended many a murder and manslaughter charge. Brad Bailey, former state and federal prosecutor, now a defense attorney as well. Gentlemen, good to see you both.
Jim.
Brad, let me start with you. A women's lawyer admitted before the SJC today that his client's behavior was, quote, not commendable. Talk about the understatement of the year. We think we all agree it's abhorrent. But prosecutors argue it's a crime. What's their argument?
They're arguing that there's causation there, and that the young lady should have known that her encouraging him would have resulted in this, given the fact that she knew he had mental issues, given the fact that she encouraged him to get back in the car. I disagree with that strongly. I don't think that they can meet the elements of manslaughter, but that's the premise.
Well, wait a second. I'm not a former prosecutor, and I'll argue that as a former prosecutor, you're wrong. Recklessness is there, clearly. The outcome, the consequence, I think, is predictable. Those are two of the critical elements of proving involuntary manslaughter. So where is the prosecution overreaching?
Jim, there's no affirmative act here. You are prosecuting her for language alone. The manslaughter statute...
And sending links to him of websites about how to kill yourself. Is that speech?
The manslaughter statute requires wanton or reckless conduct that unlawfully causes a death. They can't meet that under those elements. We don't have an assisted suicide prohibition.
Right, so most states do, actually. Yeah.
Most do. But so where's the unlawful killing of another through wanton and reckless conduct?
Okay, so if this is a real argument, you'd say, Your Honor, please dismiss this because the prosecutor isn't even making the case. Are you with him? Is this really serious overcharging? I mean, if you, I'm a former lawyer.
Yeah.
There's got to be some crime here. I mean, all we say at the end of the day is she's a sociopath or
bad form.
That's the outcome?
Yeah.
So go ahead, make your case.
Well, first of all, as Brad was saying, there's never been a case in Massachusetts where there wasn't a physical act that was committed by the accused. There's no physical act here. They have to prove for involuntary manslaughter that the person who's charged caused the murder. Mm-hmm. Not encouraged it, not any number of other things, but actually caused the murder.
But it's involuntary manslaughter. And
he caused his own death. That's suicide. That's not a crime in Massachusetts.
So sending him websites, sending him websites to say, here's how you can do it. Let me just read you a part of this text thing, and then you tell me. This is on the day that the young man killed himself. Right. Look at this. This is Roy. Like, why am I so hesitant lately? Like 2 weeks ago, I was willing to try everything. Now I'm worse, really bad. And I'm LOL, not following through. It's eating me inside. Michelle Carter. You're so hesitant because you keep overthinking it, keep pushing it off. You just need to do it, Conrad. The more you push it off, the more it will eat at you. You're ready and prepared. All you have to do is turn the generator on. You'll be free and happy. No more pushing it off. No more waiting. Roy, you're right. Carter, if you want it as bad as you say you do, it's time to do it today. Roy says, yup, no more waiting. And Carter ends by saying, well, it doesn't end in the actual texting. But for me, okay, I'm serious. Like, you can't even wait till tonight. You have to do it when you get back from your walk. Now, she knew this kid had some issues. She relentlessly, this is not just 1 hour of texting, Jack.
Sure.
This is day after day. It's sending websites saying, here are your instructions. Go back in and kill it. That's no crime at all?
No, it's not. And before this, there's a context to this, first of all. Although what I'm saying goes to the merits, not to whether or not those actual acts, those words that she said.
What's the context?
She was sending him texts saying, "You need help. Go to McLean Hospital. I almost wish that you would try this and fail so that you'd get help." So we don't know actually
But that's like saying if you shoot somebody and the day before you didn't shoot somebody.
No.
You know, I mean,
well, it's not the same because
what is undeniable is that there is a whole body of texting in which she's. And let me go one step further with both of you for a second. After the fact, she says to this young man, "Don't worry if you do this." And I'm paraphrasing this. I'll take care of your family. He says, "I'm freaking out my family. I don't want to do this." She says, "Don't worry, I'll deal with your family." You know how she dealt with her family? She lied to his family and said, "I don't know where he is. Where is he?" When she knows he's lying dead in his truck in this parking lot.
That's the morally reprehensible part. But, Jim,
but not a crime. You agree there's no crime.
Where do you draw the line? If somebody says, "I'm going to go kill myself," and you, in a peak of something, say, "Do it."
Yeah, if you relentlessly do it, that's where I draw the line.
Are we now going to charge them with manslaughter where they're facing up to 20 years?
Okay.
You've got to meet the elements of the crime.
No. If she had done something like, if she had gotten the generator, if she had turned the generator on, if she had taken some physical act.
Send him a website, which is a physical, well, it's not a physical, it's a virtual thing. Wait a second, in 2016?
That's communication.
Wait, if she had handed him a book saying, "Here's how you kill yourself," that's a physical act, but sending him a website
That's
is not?
not a physical act. A physical act is doing something that actually leads to the death. And the fact that he wanted to do it, and let's even assume that what she's doing here is encouraging him and not trying to get him to fail and to get help. Let's just assume that that's all correct. That still is not, that would be a crime if there was an assisted suicide
Okay,
statute.
I have 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Talk to the legislature. If people are as outraged at home as I am by this whole thing, quickly, what does the legislature do in the wake of this case? Obviously can't affect this case. What do? Nothing?
Well, you know, they could pass an anti-assisted suicide.
Saying that
But
behavior
let me tell you
like
something.
this.
And the Supreme Court of Minnesota, which has that kind of a statute, ruled that it was unconstitutional.
How about you? Is there anything the legislature can do? Or just have to live with crap
I
like
agree.
this?
You have to have an anti-assisted suicide law because that then makes this unlawful and it meets the elements of assisting in it.
Jack, thanks so much. Aggravating, but great to see you. Brad, great to see you as well.